やったことないをそれないでさあフューチャーヒーロー走るんだ追い風を受けて
Yo, what's up, everyone? Trayman1 here, and today I'm here with a movie review over Pokemon, the movie The Power of Us. So, the reason I actually saw it last Saturday, but I decided to wait until, it finished airing in theaters. So, I'm gonna go ahead and give thoughts on each and every character, and basically, overall, talk about the animation aspects, the music, and the dubbing and everything. So, let's go ahead and get right into this review. As for the story of this movie, I really enjoyed this movie. This is one of the best Pokemon movies that we've had. And it was just so great. It wasn't like a really battle hard movie, but it was a lot focused on story. And they even got to flesh out each character equally. Like, at first it was like, wow, 6 characters that they're going to have to develop, Zehra and Lugia. But they actually end up handling each of these characters well, except Lugia, which I'll get into later. But Ash, Risa, Margo, Callahan, Turin, and Harriet, they all handled really well with Zehra. Zehra was amazing in this movie. One thing I want to point out real quick is that this Ash is not the Ash from the anime, but it's the Ash continuing from Pokemon, the movie I Choose You. And it seems like they will be continuing on with this alternate universe movie series, which I'm perfectly fine with. I really did enjoy a lot. Now, Ash is the character that he really doesn't have that much screen time in this movie. I mean, he does, but it's really not focused on Ash because we kind of already covered Ash's story in Pokemon I Choose You. But Ash really does help out a lot in this movie when it comes to his friends. Risa has a very interesting story. So, she's the one who starts out this movie. We see her coming from school, and basically, she was looking at, the track runners, and basically, they show her legs, showing that, something happened. Turns out she actually used to run track back in the day, but, after a big injury, she kind of quit. And this is like a realistic thing that happens to a lot of people. So I was really interested to see that they covered this in Pokemon. Ash really helped Risa a lot throughout this whole movie, basically with Eevee helping her run again and just everything. I really did like Risa's story a lot. It was very interesting, that really great character, and also the story with her brother, that was pretty interesting as well. So it was really cool to see, how they handled this, an athlete, when they get injured or something and, can't come back from their injury. So I'm really glad that they tackled this story for a lot of, young athletes that might have watched this movie. Turin is also another character with a really realistic type of story where he can't basically talk in public. We see this throughout the movie. He's shy, he's nervous, he's stuttering, and basically this movie progresses on. He gains confidence to finally be able to public speak in front of the audience with the help of his Pokemon Chansey. And that was a really awesome, nice story as well. I'm really loving how realistic these character stories are in this movie. And it was just, they tackled each one so well. Turin was a great character. Not my favorite character of the group, but he was also a pretty nice and great character. Next, we have Harriet, who had the darkest story out of the whole group. Basically, Harriet's been in this town for a while. She knows about Zehra and everything. But basically, she used to work at this windmill, and she doesn't like Pokemon, basically. And the reason for that is because she had a tragic past with a Snubbull that, died basically trying to save her. And, it shows how, that trauma could really mess her up badly. This is also something that could be realistic. Losing a pet, each one of these stories has something realistic to it that, they could teach little kids, you gotta, stay strong through all of this. But throughout the movie, she ended up being able to trust Pokemon again. And I really did like that a lot. Hopefully, I hope she caught all those Pokemon that were following her, because it'll be really nice to see them all together again. Real quickly, I would like to talk about Risa's brother Rick, because we've actually been seeing Rick for quite a while. So basically, back when Pokemon The Power of Us was airing in Japan, at the end of the Sun and Moon episodes, we would see this character, this Pokemon YouTuber, Pokemon, basically like a Pokemon YouTuber. And turns out all this time that character was actually Rick. I was shocked at this scene because I was like, wait, that was him? I was not expecting it. Basically, he wasn't a big role in the movie, but yeah, it was still pretty cool to see that, he was actually there from the beginning. So that was pretty cool as well. Next, I want to talk about Margo, who really reminds me of Bonnie. Like, oh my gosh, I guess it's because, the same voice actress and everything. But Margo's story was interesting. She was the mayor's daughter, and basically she's been going out to protect Zerora and, feed it all this time. The only human that Zerora could trust was Margo. Basically, Zerora has a pretty dark backstory. We'll get into it when we talk about Zerora. Margo was really like Bonnie too, because it's like the friend with the legendaries. Margo had a good story as well. It wasn't like kind of as realistic as these other stories, but I really did enjoy Margo's story as well with Zerora. It was really cool to see, she was the only one that Zerora could trust. Team Rocket have a bigger role in this movie than they did in I Choose You, and I was really glad about that, because one thing I didn't like about I Choose You is how Team Rocket were kind of just there. Like, they didn't interact with Ash once, and they kind of just were like, yeah, we're Team Rocket, we're here. But in this movie, they're actually the ones who causes this trouble in the city, so that's pretty interesting to see. Also, it appears that Ash has met Team Rocket, in between I Choose You and The Power of Us, so they do know each other. They call him Twerp. He's like, Team Rocket, and, Pikachu, that Wobbuffet, yeah, all that good stuff. It was also good to see Wobbuffet. We actually seen Wobbuffet in the end credits of I Choose You, so we knew that they had Wobbuffet from the get-go. Also, Team Rocket's designs were amazing in this movie. Like, Jesse and James look amazing in this movie. Now, like, I do kind of still prefer the original designs, but in this movie, like, the style that they had and the design change really did fit well with the style of this movie. Like, it was really good. Now, in my personal opinion, this character had the biggest and greatest story in this movie, and that's Callahan. Basically, Callahan is a liar. Him, his niece, and his sister have come to this festival, and he lies, talking about, how I got this strong Pokemon. Oh, how I've, done this and that and that. He's basically got himself caught up in a bunch of lies. He enters the Wind Festival because his niece wants to see him, enter it. He has to cheat as well with the help of Turin, basically, to try to win. He ends up getting first place. He ends up getting caught in some mess, lying to Lisa about Eevee, and he ends up getting caught in a lot of trouble in this movie, to the point that when his niece finds out that he's been lying all this time, she starts to say, I hate him, and he just goes through it. Also, he's a pseudo with him from the Wind Festival that also is kind of like him, that lies. Basically, they go through it. He really interacts with every character in this movie a lot. Like, with Turin, when he needed him to cheat, he said he was going to help Turin with the public speaking. He helps Harriet at one point, try to get over her, hatred for Pokemon. Risa with the Eevee. It's just, he had a really great story in this movie, and it was, in my opinion, the best character in this movie. I wasn't expecting much from him, but when we saw this movie, I really did enjoy his character a lot. And yeah, so Callahan had the best story in my opinion, and was the best character, followed by Risa. Now, I want to talk about the two legendaries of this movie, Zeraora and Lugia. Zeraora's story was amazing. It wasn't like they forced him into this movie like Marshadow. Marshadow really didn't have a role for real in I Choose You, but he's kind of just gets mad and start attacking. I didn't really like how they handled Marshadow. But Zeraora, they handled very well with his past and not liking the citizens and how everyone came to help it out. Zeraora sees how the times have changed from back then to now, and I really did like that a lot. We get to see Ash and Zeraora battling and everything. It was really cool. And yeah, basically, Zeraora was a really, really great character in my opinion. Sadly for Lugia, though, Lugia gets the 2-minute treatment. It comes up, it blows its wind, makes some rain, saves the day, and leaves. So, I didn't really like how they handled Lugia, especially how much they promoted Lugia in this movie, but Zeraora, they handled really well. The animation throughout this whole movie was simply amazing. This is the best animated movie that we've had so far. And the new art style really does help with this animation. Like the battles that we had between Pikachu, Fanfi, and Pikachu and Zeraora were nice. The running scenes with Risa, just overall the wind, like basically like, the smoke that Team Rocket caused. It was just, everything was so amazing. Now, one thing though is that there's a lot of CGI, like CGI characters and stuff, so that's one thing that's kind of like, but Other than that, the animation throughout this movie is fluid and amazing, and it was really nice. I also got to say, I love that the dub kept the original music, the original soundtrack, and all the voice acting, and it was just so amazing throughout the entire movie. Like, it felt like everyone gave their all in this movie and really got into the character. I really did enjoy the animation, the voice acting, and the dubbing. It was just all so amazing. Overall, I'll give this movie a 9.7 out of 10, and I recommend that everyone checks this movie out because this movie is really good. Even people who, aren't really into the Pokemon franchise or don't know too much about it, I believe you will all love this movie a lot. This is a great movie. If you're hoping for like a lot of Lugia scenes, yeah, don't expect too much. But if you can look past that and enjoy each character for who they are and stuff, and basically their stories, you will love this movie. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoy it. Treyman1. Peace out.